It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And sometimes this season you don't feel too well. I know, it's allergies and maybe the connection with asthma. Today we need to delve into that important topic. There's a connection, and that's why we brought the expert. We got Dr. Chanel here, who knows all things, yes, that doctors know and more, and packages it in the best possible way. I mean, look at the top she's wearing. You know that it's going to be a fantastic opportunity to discuss. But Dr. Chanel, welcome. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's start with allergies. I think these are very misunderstood. So let's just talk about it. Because when you think allergies, you think, I've got an allergic reaction to dust. I chew. I can't drink milk. I get those red spots. So allergies, just a vague understanding of what they are.
Let's just touch on the immune system first.
Yes.
So all of us in our immune systems, we produce protective proteins called antibodies.
Yes.
So when our bodies are exposed to allergens,
Yes.
which are things that affect our immune system, it actually has an immune system reaction to it. So, and then it shows itself in inflammation, where it can be on the skin. So if something bites you, it can be red and itchy and irritated. It can be in the airways, it can be in the sinuses, and even in the digestive system. Okay, so it's anything that your immune system reacts to. That's so an allergy. When I ask patients, what are your allergies, they think I'm talking about dust and things, but when I'm usually talking about medicine, like penicillins.
Okay.
But for today, we're focusing on allergies around us in our environment.
Interestingly, allergies and asthma, there's a connection there that we need to discuss. So what is that particular connection? How do they come together, so to speak?
So asthma, on the other hand, is a chronic inflammatory disorder.
Yes.
So it's something that happens in somebody's body for a long time, and it's characterized by a hypersensitivity reaction. So it's hypersensitive to anything that it's affected by.
Yeah.
So you get allergy-induced asthma or non-allergy-induced asthma, and it is just when that immune system reacts to the allergies or the environmental factors around it.
Intriguing. So there is actually a certain connection that's lying there.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But I think that let's chat a bit more about allergies themselves, because obviously we have to manage these things. We also have to identify them, because now, I mean, how do you know? I mean, sometimes you just have a bad day, or the pollen count is very, very big. So how do we get into that scenario where we can properly identify when there's an allergic response and when it becomes a bit of an issue? Can you help us out with that, identifying it?
So allergies is, like I said, it can be dust, it can be pollen, it can be a bee sting. Some people get a bee sting, but they don't react as badly. It can be pet dander, so from cats and dogs.
Yes. I know this one, because you know what? I love cats, but I'm allergic to cats. That's why I got dogs, but I'd probably have cats as well, but I get it. The dander's
so that's like the hairs, for people who don't know. And then you have that allergic reaction to it. So it's just a response in your body. And when you have that response, your immune system releases histamine. And that's what causes that inflammatory response. So if you notice those triggers, it would be good to speak to your doctors about it.
Yes.
But also avoid it. You can actually just, rule out things when you're around cats, like you now know. You love it, but you can't be around it.
You know what I do? I shove my nose straight into a cat if I see one. I love animals.
And you deal with it.
And I'm like, I'll deal with it later. Histamines take me now, but at least I've got this cat that it's one of those things. I love animals. But let's talk about effective ways. Avoidance, one of them. But are there any other ways that we can manage allergies and even asthma as a response to it?
So like you said, identifying them, so the triggers, so you can know. Don't walk outside for too long in the open nature if you are sensitive to it, or then just do it and, deal with it. So there are different ways that you can deal with it. So there's antihistamines. So I said histamines are released, so you take antihistamines to fight those histamines. There are decongestants that you can take, because you can get congested. There are corticosteroids that you can take for that inflammatory response. That's not in terms of allergies. But then when you're looking at asthma, it's a little bit different. Because you need short-term relief and you need long-term relief. With the short-term relief, there are short-acting beta-agonist pumps. So you must have seen those blue pumps and brown pumps that patients walk around with. and they can be long-acting or short-acting. Some of them are preventers, some of them are relievers, and then oral corticosteroids, and there are lots of oral medications that you can take for asthma as well. But I would say to speak to your doctor so that we can actually assist with identifying, and we can do allergy testing these days. We can do blood tests, we can do lung function tests for asthma, so we can actually help test and manage your symptoms.
This is exciting. And I also think that there are ways to effectively, I'm going to say, try and help the situation. Now, we mentioned avoidance, we mentioned all of the medication we can take as well, but are there any hacks that we can think about if just in the home? I know that growing up, I've always had allergies in terms of, it was dust allergies.
Yeah.
And I know that my parents straight up, they said, you know, we're getting rid of this carpet. Like immediately it was like the carpet, and then the material of my bedding was changed as well, because it got quite hectic at a stage that I think it led into croup as it went on, which is it was intense. So are there any of those like quick nuggets that you can offer people who are preparing their homes to be allergy-free, so to speak?
Obviously, the cleaning, like you said, with taking out the carpets.
Yes.
Because, I mean, some people are just a bit more sensitive to it.
Yeah,
so if there's carpets, there will be dust easily. Even with wooden floors, sometimes you see more dust sometimes.
Yeah.
So obviously, just cleaning, keeping it clean.
Yeah.
Having the medication ready. Some people can be on medication just prophylactically. Even if there aren't any symptoms, you can be on it to actually prevent it. So, yeah, I would say just to avoid the triggers. And like the dust, obviously pollen in the air, you can't really avoid all of that.
Yes.
But just to, maybe try and keep the house a bit
Fantastic.
clean. Yeah.
Quick one, when do we see a doctor? When do we see you? What type of response do we have that will initiate we need to get to a doctor?
So if there is an allergic reaction to something, which the most serious one that we worry about is when it actually affects the airways.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
that
yes,
you
yes.
would not come to me in my GP practice. You would go to the hospital.
Yeah, got you.
Okay, because you'll need adrenaline and you'll need oxygen.
Yeah.
So go straight to the hospital. If there's any airway obstruction and you actually can't breathe.
Okay, cool.
Just yesterday I had a patient who had a don't know if it was a spider bite or a bee sting.
Yeah.
And there was actually just some redness. And she came to me because she now wasn't sure. She was like, there's redness. It's not painful, but it's itchy and it's irritate. It's like an irritant. So then you would come to your doctor. So if you see any itchiness, any redness, any swelling, that is important because you actually don't know if there's going to be the ripple effect that your airways actually become obstructed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chanel. You are so informative. Honestly, I want you to stay. But of course, we can't keep you forever, but we can have these little moments with you to educate. So if you are suffering from allergies and if those connect to asthma, there are ways for you and great education on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And here are your connections. Now, if you suspect you have either condition, allergies or asthma, be sure to consult a healthcare professional like a Dr. Chanel. And you also stand a chance to win 2,000 Rand in cash. Simply reply to the competition post on the Expresso social media pages and tell us what's the most challenging aspect of managing allergies. And don't forget the important hashtag CETICIT, that's CETICIT. Competition closes on Friday, 25 October, and T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.